Chosen one, they invested everything they had in your destruction, their money, their time, their very souls, banking on a future where you would be nothing more than a memory. But you're still here, thriving beyond their worst nightmares while they're trapped in the hell they created for themselves because you cannot destroy what the universe has chosen to protect. And now they're all angry you ruined their plan by not dying, experiencing the very hell on earth they tried to curse you with. The roots of their obsession run deeper than you might realize. This spiritual warfare didn't begin when you became successful or when you started stepping into your power. This began when you were innocent, when you were just a child carrying something they recognized but couldn't understand. Some of you had family members, people who were supposed to love and protect you unconditionally, who looked at your young face and felt threatened by the light they saw there. The very people who should have been your first line of defense became your first attackers. They watched you play, watched you laugh, watched you dream, and all the while they were plotting ways to steal that joy from you permanently. Your childhood wasn't just difficult. It was a battleground where grown adults declared war on a child whose only crime was existing with divine favor. There came a pivotal moment when their attacks stopped working the way they expected. You can pinpoint this moment in your own life if you think back carefully enough. It was when they threw everything they had at you, their best manipulation tactics, their most devastating sabotage attempts, their darkest spiritual weapons, and you kept standing. That's when the panic set in. That's when they understood they weren't dealing with an ordinary person who would break under pressure and disappear quietly into the night. They realized you carried something they couldn't touch, couldn't corrupt, couldn't destroy no matter how hard they tried. The protection around you wasn't just luck or coincidence. It was divine intervention operating at levels they couldn't comprehend. The rage that consumed them in that moment of realization has been burning in their souls ever since. They went from confident predators to desperate prisoners, trapped in their own hatred and unable to accept that their prey was completely untouchable. Your survival wasn't just a victory, it was a revelation that shattered their entire worldview and left them scrambling for answers they would never find. When conventional warfare failed, they crossed lines that most human beings wouldn't even consider. Some of you experienced direct attempts on your life. Substances slipped into your food, your drinks, things designed to make you sick or worse. Others faced sophisticated spiritual attacks. Practitioners hired with blood money to bind your energy, curse your path, send demonic forces to torment your sleep and steal your peace. They weren't content with just making your life difficult anymore. They wanted you gone, completely erased from existence so they could finally breathe easy, knowing that the threat you represented was eliminated forever. The escalation revealed the true depth of their desperation and the extent of their moral bankruptcy. Every desperate measure they took was another nail in their own coffin. Each dark practitioner they hired, each poison they administered, each curse they commissioned, all of it has come back to them multiplied by the cosmic law that governs this universe. They thought they were getting rid of you, but they were actually sealing their own fate with every evil deed they performed. This wasn't a lone wolf situation. Multiple people knew about the plans against you, and they either participated actively or remained silent while evil was being orchestrated right in front of them. Family members who should have protected you joined the conspiracy. Former lovers who once claimed to care about you became willing participants in your destruction. Friends who sat at your table broke bread with you while plotting your downfall. They formed a network of darkness with your destruction as their common goal. They held meetings where your name was spoken with venom. They coordinated their efforts like a military operation designed to take down a single target. You were living your life, working toward your dreams, trying to build something beautiful, while an entire collective was working in the shadows to ensure you would never succeed. The betrayal runs deeper than you know, because some of these people smiled in your face while signing contracts for your demise. They celebrated holidays with you while secretly celebrating the progress of their plans against you. The level of deception and coordination required for their conspiracy reveals just how threatened they were by your very existence. The money they spent trying to destroy you could have changed their lives in positive ways, but they chose to invest in darkness instead of light. They paid practitioners real money, sometimes their life savings, to work against you. They hired people to watch you, follow you, report on your movements. They funded elaborate schemes designed to make you fail professionally, personally, spiritually. Some of them are now financially ruined because they spent everything they had trying to bring you down. They literally went broke betting against someone who was divinely protected, and now they're experiencing the poverty they tried to curse you with. Their obsession with your destruction became more expensive than any addiction, and they're paying the price for that obsession every single day. They spent their wealth trying to make you poor, and now they're the ones struggling financially while you continue to rise. Every dollar they spent against you was a dollar stolen from their own future prosperity, and they're finally understanding the true cost of their hatred. Every breakthrough you make, every trauma you overcome, every step you take toward wholeness is pure torture for them to witness. They expected to see you broken, defeated, maybe even institutionalized by now. Instead, they're watching you heal from everything they put you through with a grace and strength that defies their understanding. Your recovery isn't just personal growth. It's evidence that their plan failed spectacularly. Every therapy session that helps you, every spiritual practice that centers you, every moment of peace you find is proof that their investment in your destruction was worthless. They can't stand to see you happy because your happiness represents their failure. The stronger you become, the weaker they feel. Your healing is stripping away their sense of power and control because they tied their identity to your suffering. Now that you're no longer suffering, they don't know who they are anymore. Your transformation is forcing them to confront the reality that they wasted years of their lives on a plan that was doomed from the beginning. The following is a message from Mike, founder of the Obsidian Inner Order, powered by Astral Atom. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you walk through this awakening alone. Never gonna scroll past your suffering like it's just content. This isn't just a rickroll. It's a lifeline in disguise. I built the Obsidian Inner Order because too many of us have been exiled for seeing the truth. Cast out by family, gaslit by cults, haunted by gifts we didn't ask for. So now we gather. Every week, live on Zoom. Real people, real faces. A former CFO turned psychic. A seer who escaped Mormonism. A healer who broke free of ritual abuse. And yes, the calls are recorded, so when you're on the floor, you can come back to the field. We're not a meme. We're a miracle. And we're never gonna give you up. Join the Obsidian Inner Order. Link in the description. The stress of watching their carefully crafted plan crumble is literally driving them insane. Some of them are having panic attacks that rival anything they tried to inflict on you. Others are losing sleep, becoming paranoid, jumping at shadows because they know what they've done and they're terrified of the consequences catching up with them. The very mental torture they wanted you to experience has become their daily reality. They're living in a constant state of anxiety because they can feel the walls closing in around them. Their minds are fracturing under the weight of their own guilt and the growing fear that everything they've done is about to be exposed. Karma has turned their own weapons against them. The psychological warfare they waged against you has boomeranged back with interest, and they're discovering that their own minds have become their worst enemies. They're trapped in a prison of their own making, tormented by thoughts they can't escape and fears they can't rationalize away. Their actions weren't just morally bankrupt, they were criminal. Some of them are facing arrest warrants, court cases, legal consequences that will follow them for the rest of their lives. Others are being exposed socially as their true nature becomes impossible to hide. People in their circles are finally seeing them for who they really are and cutting ties to protect themselves. The reputation they tried to destroy for you is now being destroyed for them in real time. They're experiencing the social isolation, the whispered conversations, the suspicious looks they tried to make your reality. Their standing in their communities is crumbling as the truth about their actions spreads like wildfire. Justice isn't just coming for them, it's already here, systematically dismantling everything they built while they were focused on tearing you down. They're learning that you cannot escape the consequences of your actions, especially when those actions were aimed at destroying someone under divine protection. The stress of their failed conspiracy isn't just affecting them mentally, it's destroying their physical bodies. Some are developing serious health conditions that doctors can't explain. Others are aging rapidly, their faces showing the strain of carrying such heavy darkness in their hearts. Some are facing life-threatening illnesses that mirror the death energy they tried to send your way. The cosmic law of return is playing out in their flesh and bones. The very destruction they wanted to bring to your body is now manifesting in their own. They're literally wasting away while you grow stronger, healthier, more vibrant with each passing day. Their physical deterioration is visible proof that you cannot attack the protected without destroying yourself in the process. You don't even have to wish harm on them because they're experiencing the natural consequences of their own dark choices. Their bodies are rebelling against the evil they've carried, and they're paying the price for trying to play with forces beyond their understanding. Everything they did in secret is being dragged into the light of day. Documents are being discovered that reveal their plans. Conversations are being recorded that expose their conspiracies. Witnesses are coming forward with information that confirms what you always suspected but couldn't prove. They thought they were clever enough to hide their tracks, smart enough to cover their bases, careful enough to avoid detection. But divine justice has a way of exposing truth, no matter how deep it's buried or how well it's disguised. Their secrets are becoming public knowledge, and there's nothing they can do to stop the revelation. The exposure isn't happening all at once. It's a slow burn that's driving them crazy with anticipation. They never know when the next piece of evidence will surface or which witness will come forward next. They're living in constant fear of discovery while simultaneously watching their darkest secrets become common knowledge. You didn't have to lift a finger to defeat them. You didn't need to seek revenge, plot retaliation, or even acknowledge their existence to claim your victory. Your triumph was automatic the moment you chose to keep living, keep growing, keep becoming exactly who you were meant to be. While they're drowning in the hell they created for themselves, you're walking in your purpose with a peace they can't touch and a power they can't diminish. They're watching you succeed beyond their wildest nightmares while they're trapped in a reality that gets darker every day. Your mere existence is the ultimate proof that their plan was doomed from the start. You are living evidence that you cannot destroy what the universe has chosen to protect. Every breath you take, every step you make, every dream you achieve is a testament to the failure of their conspiracy and the futility of their hatred. The dimension of their attack that cuts deepest is the spiritual warfare they initiated without understanding the forces they were provoking. These people didn't just hire practitioners and witches. They opened portals to darkness they had no business accessing. They made pacts with entities they couldn't control, signed contracts with forces that would eventually demand payment from their own souls. The entities they invited into their lives to help destroy you have now turned against them. The same demons they fed with offerings and blood sacrifices are now feeding on them. The spiritual doors they opened to send darkness your way have become permanent gateways through which their own torment flows endlessly. They created their own haunting, their own spiritual prison, their own demonic attachment that will follow them until they draw their last breath. Every ritual they performed against you has become a ritual binding them to suffering. Every candle they lit with your destruction in mind is now burning their own spiritual house down. The very practitioners they paid to curse you have become the architects of their own spiritual damnation, because you cannot use darkness against light without that darkness consuming you completely. Their assault against you wasn't just an attack on your present life. It was an attempt to destroy your entire lineage, your bloodline, your generational blessing. Some of these people understood that you weren't just an individual threat to their plans. You represented the emergence of something powerful that would impact generations to come. They tried to cut off your family tree at the root by targeting you specifically. They wanted to ensure that whatever gift, whatever calling, whatever divine purpose runs through your bloodline would die with you. Their plan was genocidal in scope, the complete elimination of your genetic and spiritual legacy from this earth. But here's what they didn't calculate. When you attack someone's generational blessing, you activate a generational curse against yourself. Every ancestor in your lineage who carried the same light you carry is now standing in spiritual court, testifying against them. The combined spiritual weight of your entire bloodline is pressing down on them with a force they never anticipated. In this modern age, their conspiracy involved digital warfare as sophisticated as their spiritual attacks. They used technology to monitor you, track you, hack into your personal accounts, steal your information, and sabotage your online presence. Some of you experienced mysterious computer problems, deleted files, compromised social media accounts, or electronic devices that malfunctioned in impossible ways. They hired cyber mercenaries to destroy your digital footprint and ruin your online reputation. They created fake profiles to harass you, spread lies about you, and turn people against you in virtual spaces. They used advanced surveillance technology to invade your privacy and gather intelligence they could use to harm you more effectively. But technology is a double-edged sword, and every digital footprint they left while attacking you has become evidence against them. Every email they sent, every search they made, every device they used to target you has created a permanent record that's now being used to expose their crimes. The same technology they weaponized against you has become the rope they're hanging themselves with. The most beautiful aspect of cosmic justice is how it forces evil people to experience exactly what they tried to inflict on others. Everything they attempted to make your reality has become theirs instead. The poverty they tried to curse you with is now their daily struggle. The isolation they wanted you to experience is now their constant companion. The fear they tried to instill in you is now the emotion that dominates their every waking moment. The irony is so perfect, it feels scripted by divine hands. They wanted you to lose your mind, so now they're losing theirs. They wanted you to lose your money, so now they're broke. They wanted you to lose your reputation, so now everyone sees them for who they really are. They wanted you to lose your life, so now they're experiencing a living death that's worse than anything they could have imagined. Perhaps the most unforgivable aspect of their conspiracy is how they involved innocent children in their war against you. Some of these people used their own kids as weapons, training them to dislike you, speak against you, or even participate in rituals aimed at your destruction. They poisoned young minds with hatred for someone who never did anything to deserve it. Others went even further, targeting your children or the children in your life. trying to harm innocence as a way to hurt you indirectly. They understood that attacking your bloodline would cause you pain beyond anything they could inflict on you personally, so they made conscious decisions to involve babies and children in their adult grudges. The cosmic consequences for involving children in spiritual warfare are more severe than anything else they've done. There's a special place in hell reserved for people who weaponize innocence, and they're getting a preview of that torment right now. The universe's protection of children is absolute, and they've violated one of the most sacred laws that govern this realm. Every child they involved in their schemes against you is now a witness against them in spiritual court. Those innocent souls are testifying about the darkness they were exposed to, and the judgment coming down on these people for corrupting children is swift, severe, and permanent. While they spent years, sometimes decades, obsessing over your destruction, you were building something beautiful. You were growing, learning, creating, loving, becoming the person you were meant to be. They wasted the most precious resource anyone has, time, on hatred that accomplished nothing except their own destruction. The time they invested in studying you, following you, plotting against you, was time stolen from their own potential growth and happiness. They could have been building businesses, nurturing relationships, developing talents, contributing something positive to the world. Instead, they chose to dedicate their finite existence to destroying someone they couldn't touch. Now they're old, bitter, broken people who have nothing to show for their years on this earth except the karma they've accumulated through their evil actions. They look back on their lives and see nothing but wasted potential, missed opportunities, and the hollow emptiness that comes from choosing darkness over light at every crucial moment. Their conspiracy against you has had an unexpected consequence. It's awakened other people to their true nature. Family members who once defended them are now seeing them clearly for the first time. Friends who believed their lies are now questioning everything they thought they knew. Communities that once respected them are now understanding the depth of their deception. You didn't have to expose them. Their own actions did that. Their obsession with your destruction became so consuming that they couldn't hide their darkness anymore. They revealed themselves through their desperate attempts to harm you, and now everyone can see the evil that was always lurking beneath their carefully constructed facades. People are coming forward with their own stories about how these individuals hurt them, manipulated them, or tried to use them in schemes against you. A pattern of abuse and malicious behavior is emerging that spans years or even decades, and their reputation is being destroyed by the weight of accumulated testimony from their victims. The mask has fallen off permanently, and they can never go back to the false image they once projected to the world. Their true face is now visible to everyone, and that face is ugly, twisted by years of harboring hatred and plotting evil against innocent people.